Yesterday we arrived in the USA as part of AfriForum's campaign to garner international support for the protection of property rights in South Africa and also for the prioritizing of the reaction against farm attacks and farm murders in South Africa. We are currently in Washington DC. We will be here for the coming week, after which we will depart to New York City, where we will continue with our tour. Our delegation consists of myself and Marina Visa, Communications Manager at AfriForum, and Mariandra Yenes, who recently survived a very tragic farm attack, will be joining us in a few days. In 2017, the African National Congress, the ruling party in South Africa, adopted a motion of expropriation of private property without compensation. In February 2018, the South African Parliament adopted a motion according to which the Constitution has to be reviewed in order to empower the state to expropriate private property in South Africa. Since that motion has been adopted, a parliamentary committee was established with the purpose of obtaining public input in this regard. And the committee found, ironically, that the majority of people in South Africa are not in favor of this motion, but nonetheless recommended that the South African Constitution has to be changed in order to allow for expropriation of private property without compensation. We have an election coming up in May, and although the ruling party has taken a decision that the push to change the Constitution or to amend the Constitution has to be fast-tracked before the election, we expect that they will continue to do with this process after the election. We also expect that the ANC, together with its alliance partners who are in favor of this motion, will get more than 66% of the vote, which will empower them or make it possible for them to change the South African Constitution in this regard. As far as violence on South Africa's farms is concerned, there has been this phenomenon of farm attacks and farm murders in South Africa, especially since 1990. This phenomenon has escalated and peaked in around the year 2000, after which it has declined. And in recent years, we have seen an increase or an escalation in violence on South Africa's farms again, not only in the numbers thereof, but also in the brutality of these attacks. Towards the end of last year, President Cyril Ramaphosa visited the USA and made the comment that there is no such thing as farm attacks and farm murders in South Africa, and also that there are no land grabs in South Africa, which is of course plainly dishonest and false. During our tour, we will meet with various stakeholders. We will meet with particularly think tanks, research institutions. We will meet with representatives. We will speak with a variety of media institutions and other opinion leaders in the US. We do not expect of other countries to solve South Africa's problems on our behalf, but we do know, for example, that South Africa and the USA is part of the AGOA agreement, which is very beneficial to South Africa. And this agreement states that the parties to this agreement have to respect property rights. So we are concerned that if the South African government continues with its push to expropriate private property without compensation, that it would be in violation of the AGOA agreement, which would have negative consequences for the country as a whole. So we hope that people, opinion leaders in the US and in other countries will publicly speak out against the crisis in South Africa and put diplomatic pressure on the South African government to respect property rights and to actively do something against the violence that we see on South Africa's farms. Now the question is, how can you help? Well, if you are in South Africa, you can join AfriForum by visiting afriforum.co.za. Or if you are in the US or somewhere else abroad, you can also support our campaigns by becoming a friend of AfriForum by visiting friendsofafriforum.com.